Hi, in this tutorial we are going to see what is Selenium and we will start with Selenium basics. Okay, so introduction to Selenium. So let's see what is Selenium first of all. The first point is Selenium is an automated regression suite used for automating web-based applications, web-based applications across different browsers and operating systems. Okay, so from this definition we got to know, so basically it is an automated regression suite. So basically Selenium is available in the form of libraries. Okay, so basically it is not a standalone tool. Okay, so it is available in the form of libraries. So we can say it is an automated regression suite which is being used for automating web-based applications across different browsers and operating systems. That means it supports different browsers and it supports different operating system. Okay, so it supports different browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, etc. That means we can do cross-browser testing easily when it comes to Selenium. So what is cross-browser testing? Cross-browser testing is nothing but testing your application under test against different browsers. So sometimes whenever we are automating any e-commerce website, right? So we have to test against different browsers. Okay, so how the application behaves against different browsers. So that is what something called as cross-browser testing. So when we go for Selenium, then cross-browser testing can easily be done. Okay, it supports multiple operating systems, multiple operating systems such as Windows, Linux, Unix. Then we have Android and iOS. Okay, so it supports multiple operating systems and it supports multiple browsers. Selenium also supports multiple languages such as Java, C#, Python, Ruby, Perl, PHP, etc. So as it supports multiple languages such as Java, C#, Python, Ruby, Perl, PHP, etc. So if a person has knowledge on any of these programming languages, then he or she can get started with Selenium. Okay, as it supports multiple languages. So if you have knowledge on Java, you can get started with Selenium. If you have knowledge on C#, you can start using Selenium. So what you need to do, you just have to download the specific libraries and you can start using Selenium. Okay, the third, this is the fifth point, right? So it is an open source tool. It is an open source tool. So basically you don't have to purchase any license for it. So all you need to do is you need to download the libraries and you can start using Selenium. Okay, so all these features are making Selenium popular. Okay, then one more thing, we can do parallel testing using TestNG and Selenium Grid. Okay, so Selenium Grid is one of the components of Selenium that we will see later, and TestNG is the built-in framework of Selenium, and it is supported by Java. So if we go for TestNG or Selenium Grid, we can do parallel testing. That means same, the test cases can be executed parallelly. Okay, so when it comes to Selenium Grid, we can execute our test cases parallelly in different machines. And when it comes to TestNG, we can execute our test cases parallelly in one system. Okay, suppose one test case I want to execute in Firefox, one test case I want to execute in Chrome, like that also I can do. Okay, so we can do parallel testing using TestNG and Selenium Grid. So all these features are making Selenium most popular. Okay, so now components of Selenium. So basically there are three components. One is like Selenium IDE and Selenium WebDriver. So we are going to focus on Selenium WebDriver, and third one is Selenium Grid. Okay, so before Selenium WebDriver, we had something called as Selenium RC, that is Selenium Remote Control. So now it's not being used. Okay, uh, why it's not being used? Because we had to start one Selenium server before using Selenium RC, and the execution speed was little bit slow, right? So when we got Selenium WebDriver, so in Selenium WebDriver we can directly interact with browsers from the OS level, from the operating system level, and there is no mediator required. Okay, so that is the reason we are using Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium RC has become obsolete, so we are not using at all, and we are using Selenium WebDriver. So we will be focusing on Selenium WebDriver and Selenium Grid. So Selenium IDE is nothing but Selenium Integrated Development Environment. So it has record and playback features, but in real time actually we are not supposed to do record and playback. So we have to write script on our own, we have to develop automation framework, and we have to write test script, right? So Selenium IDE has record and playback features, but for knowledge purpose I will tell you like how we can use Selenium IDE. Okay, so Selenium IDE has record and playback features, so you can record like all the actions. So when I say actions, means like all the user actions related to your web application. Like if you're doing any click action, or like you are selecting a value from a drop down, you are entering any value in an edit field, you are verifying text on a web page, you are verifying a web element on a web page. So all these actions can be recorded and you can play them back. Okay, so it has record and playback feature. And Selenium WebDriver, so basically we are going to use Selenium WebDriver by downloading the Selenium libraries. So we are going to use Java programming language. So all we need to do is we need to download all the Selenium Java libraries and we can start using it. Selenium Grid, obviously, as I said before, that if we want to do parallel testing, that means if we want to execute our test cases parallelly in different machines, then you can go for Selenium Grid. Okay, so let's see one by one. So in the next session, I will show you like what Selenium IDE is and how can we record and playback. After that, we will learn Java. Okay, thank you for attending this session.